Hey everyone, it is Kate Weatherwise, your favorite weather girl, coming to you on Wednesday, January 21st, 2026. It is coming up on 9 p.m. on the East Coast. And what this video entails is the winter storm that is poised to come into Texas and then head northeast starting Friday afternoon and wreaking havoc as it moves along until exit time of the United States on Monday morning sometime. Now, before I get into it, I just want to say if you're not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and please also share it with your friends and family. I love providing weather information. I love forecasting and analyzing and reporting on the weather, and it really helps me out and helps my channel out. So if you would do that, I would greatly appreciate it. Now let's get into the situation. I'm going to take us over to the satellite imagery really quickly. This is the current look at what is going on in the country, or at least this part of the country. And there's not a whole lot. There is some rain that's leading up into some snow, some lake effect snow that is falling in those favored areas. This is a broken record for lake effect snow. By the end of the winter, this area is going to probably see, I would guess, I am guessing, I am making a statement that they will have seen near record snowfall amounts in these lake effect snow areas of the Great Lakes and into the Northeast. Now, as we have seen for the past many days, northwest winds coming out of Canada, bringing in cold air, and that means it is continuing to be cold, and it's going to help enhance and bring in the snow to this area, but it's also going to bring in some ice in this area starting on Friday afternoon. Now, when we encounter ice, that means the temperature the temperature outside is freezing or below, but there's a very shallow layer of above freezing air just above the surface. And so the precipitation falls as frozen, and then right as it gets to the surface, it becomes rain, but then when it hits a surface, when it contacts with the surface, it freezes on contact because that surface is also at freezing or below. So you have rain that's falling, a very shallow layer of rain, but then when it hits the surface, it freezes. And that's what creates that freezing rain aspect and just can wreak havoc on any location. It can disable areas, it can cause power outages, trees that come down. Even with a tenth of an inch, it causes great disorder. And so when you are talking about this particular storm, anywhere from 1 to 2 inches of ice, that is going to cause a lot of damage and wreak a lot of havoc. And so we are going to go over to, this is the European model that I like to look at when I am doing a lot of forecasting, because it is pretty solid for most things. It's not perfect, no model is, but it gives you a good idea. There's some other models out there that are good as well. This is the one that I like to go and check out because it's a medium range model. So it's not the rapid refresh. So it gives you a longer window, but it's not the GFS that gives you a long window. So let's take a look at this. This is the cold air that's coming down from Canada. It's pushing in. This is as of Friday morning. Here's the boundary line. This is the cold air. This is the warmer. This doesn't mean that it's warm, but it's warmer. And you can see that it's pushing down. And by the time the precipitation starts, we start at some mixed precipitation in Oklahoma. And then towards the start of the afternoon, this is actually Friday night into Saturday morning, it really starts to ramp up. So this model is pushing out when it actually gets started. Friday afternoon has been the time, and I still believe it will still start Friday afternoon, but it doesn't really start to gear up until Friday evening local time in Texas. Now, this area, the reds here, this is ice. So the ice starts to blossom, and then this is mixed precipitation, and then of course this is snow. But the cold air stays north a little bit into Oklahoma. So you all will see mainly snow unless you're in southern Oklahoma, where you will see that mixed precipitation, thin line of it, and then ice down to the south and into the Dallas area, over into Arkansas. Now, as we go along in time, this is Saturday afternoon. It's very slow. It's a slow moving system. And this low pressure is still back in New Mexico. And so it then transfers itself as it moves along. This is when the snow will begin in the Tennessee. Tennessee is poised to get some snow, but then also some ice for you all in Tennessee. Northern parts of these southern states, you will see some ice and snow, especially on the backside where you could see some snow as it's pushing through and bringing in that colder air. But in the front side, you are going to see a fair amount of ice. We'll take a look at what's the amounts that are probable going into the weekend. Now, this is Saturday evening, overnight Saturday evening. It's pushing into the mid-Atlantic, the snow. The cold air is already going to be in place, so there's not going to be a temperature issue where there's warmer air right at the surface, creating that freezing rain. It's just going to be snow for them at first. They could see some ice mixing in as the system gets to the coast, but we'll take a look at that in a minute. Now, as we move on, this is where the ice is going to be in Southwest Virginia. This is Sunday morning, early Sunday morning, where this is interesting because I grew up in this part of the country, so I'm very familiar with how things work weather-wise in the wintertime. And oftentimes when systems come from this direction, a warmer arm does come up the spine of the Appalachians. Now, whether it depends on whether it comes up on the west side of the Appalachians or the east side of the Appalachians, where that ice and or snow line gets set up, most likely. Now, this model does a good job of bringing in that warmer arm and then some rain taking over in central Tennessee on Sunday. And then on the backside, we have more ice and then more snow. But you all in Maryland, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, you're going to see a lot of snow, upwards of a foot in some areas. And there has not been that much snow in the mid-Atlantic at one time in a very long time, for a decade or longer. So this is going to be pretty historic. Now, this model takes some ice up into northeastern Maryland, the center part of the state, on Sunday afternoon. So, and then still some snow into central and northern Pennsylvania. I don't think Pennsylvania will have to worry about it changing over to ice for you all, but this could be a significant ice event for central and southern and southwestern Virginia as well, and into North Carolina. I remember driving to college at North Carolina State University in a snowstorm that started in the Northeast, in the Mid-Atlantic, and as we got south, it turned to ice when we got to the Virginia-North Carolina border. It was a pretty dicey drive, but I was driving, my dad was driving a different car, so and there were no cell phones at the time. That was back in the late 90s, and there were no one had a cell phone. We just kind of plugged our way through and just went slow and made it to Raleigh, where we didn't have school for like the first few days of the semester because the ice was so bad. So this could be an ice setup for them in central and northern North Carolina. Now this is going into Sunday night. Now this system, I'm going to back up for a minute. You can see this low pressure system transfers off the coast. It is going to, if it stays on this trajectory, it's going to be a little too close to the coast, and it's probably going to bring in some warmer air. So some warmer air is going to be mixing in with that, with all of this action here, and it could create either some ice or some mixed precipitation, or it could change over to rain, especially as further south you go towards the ocean. Now this, if it stays here, now this is likely to change. It could change where the exact path is going to be, it's probably going to change and it could wobble around here. And the further out over the ocean it goes, the more cold air that'll come in. The further close to the coast it goes, the more rain that's going to be pulled in and warmer air that's going to be pulled in. So, but there's still a nice situation here. This is Sunday night into Sunday afternoon into Sunday night. And then as we go into Monday, finally, overnight, the snow is still falling in the state of Maine, into New York as well. And it finally exits the area, not until Monday morning into Monday afternoon. But behind it is this dome of cold air that is going to create whatever falls on the ground is going to stick. So that is another thing you have to think about. So let's go over to the temperatures that are expected. Now, there's some really cold air. I'm going to pull this down just a tad. There's some really cold air up here, and this is today at 4 o'clock Pacific time. Now, as I mentioned before, there's an extreme cold weather watch for this whole area. Now, and they put out as a watch because it's not within 24 hours of actually happening. So when it turns into a warning, that's when it's going to be here within 24 hours. As you can see, this cold air is starting to infiltrate down from Canada. We have minus 22, minus 19. That's pretty chilly. This is all forecasted. We'll see what it actually turns out to be. But you can see it marching south. And then that cold, this is Friday at 1 o'clock in the morning. And then right around the time, this is Friday afternoon, right around the time that the snow and the precipitation is about to start, you can see that line where Oklahoma, you're going to be in the 20s. So you're going to be all snow to the surface. And then there's that boundary line in central Arkansas over into Tennessee, up into Kentucky. You all are going to be snow. So we have that line. And then as we go along, this is Saturday, that cold air starts to come down as well. It's not, the really, really cold air is going to stay north, but the cold enough air. This is Saturday afternoon. So you all are going to see really cold temperatures in the panhandle of Texas, 8 degrees, 7 degrees in Oklahoma. So some real wintertime temperatures are headed your way. And as you can see, there's that arm right here that I talked about of warmer air. This is that arm of warmer air that could bring some rain back into central and eastern Tennessee up into West Virginia. I'll keep an eye on that. We'll monitor it. But then that cold pocket stays here in Maryland, Virginia. So you all could still be snow and or ice because there could be that layer of warmer air at the surface that I was talking about. And then as we go along, that really cold air, this is Sunday night at 1 o'clock in the morning. Really cold air continues to push south. It's still really cold. Almost all of Texas, all the way down to the border, is going to be close to freezing. And then that cold air is going to not quite make it all the way down into South Florida, but -5. These are air temperatures, not wind chills. These are air temperatures as well. It starts to moderate up here in Montana, but this really cold pocket stays with us. -11, and then it moves east. -9 degrees, and this is Monday night. So we'll have the snow on the ground, and it will just create even colder temperatures, to your skin, because the snow and or ice is going to be on the ground, keeping things really cold. I'm hovering my mouse over here, and it said -21 degrees, and this is in West Virginia, Western Maryland situation, in 12 degrees in the Dallas area on Monday night. So these temperatures are no joke. These are temperatures that are not often seen. You do see them every once in a while. They don't normally reach. They do reach, but it's on the rarer side, all the way down into central and southern Texas. Florida, you are going to be chillier, but you're not going to see these types of temperatures. So be happy about that. Now, this is I'm going to back up a little bit. This is the European ensemble for total snowfall. And this has a swath of, this is a foot or more, this hot pink, a foot or more of snow from northern Arkansas and eastern Oklahoma all the way over to the East Coast and then up into Pennsylvania and a little bit. This is from lake effect snow most likely too. And then some of this system snow, this winter storm snow. But look at this. This is through Monday morning. So you all could see anywhere from 12 to 18 inches of snow in this pretty hot pink area. So that's pretty impressive. And then this is the European AI model. And we're going to take this back a little bit so we can see it progress. And this also has a pretty good swath of snow that anywhere from 12 to 16 inches. So there's a pretty good consensus that this area right here is going to see a foot of snow or more. Now let's go over to the ice. This is the ice map. And the darker the color, the more ice, obviously. So this is right here into southeast Arkansas. This is through Sunday and then into Monday evening when the system will have exited by then. Southeast Arkansas, this is just a prediction now, upwards of 2 to 3 inches of ice for you guys. And into extreme northwestern Louisiana and Mississippi. I'm sorry, this is Mississippi right here. And then another swath, and I showed you this on the model just a minute ago, right here into North Carolina, western North Carolina, up into southern Virginia. And then a little bit of ice up here. And now this is like 1/10 of an inch, and that could still, that's still like you don't go out, you don't ever try to drive on ice. No one can handle ice. I don't care what kind of vehicle you have. Do not go out. If it gets more than 1/4 of an inch, trees are going to come down. Branches are definitely going to come down. 1/2 an inch, trees are going to come down. Power lines are definitely coming down. So this is going to be quite a situation for this general area this weekend. So I'm going to take us over real quick to another freezing rain model that shows, now this is a different color. This is 2 inches or more. So this one is also saying at least 2 inches of ice into Arkansas and Mississippi, Louisiana, and then over into Virginia too. So there is going to be quite a bit of ice, that's a freezing rain that's going to fall. And if you hover, this says 1.5 inches. If you hover over here, this is over 2 inches. So it's going to be impressive. This is going to be an impressive storm. And I first realized this storm was coming into the picture on Sunday, and I was like, this is very interesting. And it was already so intense and robust. I thought, I wonder if this is serious. This is like predicting this now. And it's within the 7-day window. I don't like to go beyond 7 days. This was a five day. And so it's like, okay, well, it's within 5 days. So I'll keep watching it. And then it just kept being persistently occurring and being there on the model run after model run after model run. So now I feel confident. I feel comfortable talking about the ice and the severity of it that it could create. So that is it. That is nearly 20 minutes. I wanted to go through all of the models that I was looking at and show you the snow totals and the ice totals for this potentially for this storm that's coming up starting Friday and lasting all the way through Monday morning. So I will be back with more videos and more updated info as I get it. But please, as I mentioned before, subscribe to my channel, share it with all your friends and family, and I will talk to you soon. This is Kate Weatherwise saying bye for now.